Blessings, everybody. This is Dale. Thank you so much for joining with me today on the Word Podcast. We are in Proverbs 16, and we looked at the first 9 verses in the previous episode. And it was centered around the heart of man, how the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his paths. Now, the next few verses start dealing with somebody else. It's a man, verse 10. An oracle is on the lips of a king. His mouth does not sin in judgment. And so in the Lexham, it says a decision is upon the lips of the king. In the New American Standard, the divine decision, a divine sentence, the King James. A divine sentence, a divine oracle is being proclaimed by a king. His mouth does not sin in judgment or transgresseth. Verse 11, a just balance and scales are the Lord's. All the weights in the bag are his works. So when there is a just balance, when there is a justice, executed, it is of the Lord. It is good. Verse 12. It is an abomination to kings to do evil, for the throne is established by righteousness, our own righteousness. Or the Lexham says, for by righteousness the throne will be established. So the idea is this: it is through righteousness that the throne is established. And it is an abominable thing for someone who sits upon the throne, a king, to do evil. Yeah, this is a great verse, Proverbs 16:12, because it does speak to the issue through the ages, does it not? Even the issue today. Are there those who sit upon thrones that do evil? Absolutely. Now, most of us in the Western world, particularly the United States, will sit there and say, well, we don't have a king. We don't have a king. Really? You don't think so? And actually, even beyond the mechanizations that we could point to, for instance, the presidency in my lifetime has been transformed tremendously. It's far more of an imperial presidency than it was when I was born in the mid-50s. Far more. It's gone beyond constitutional things. Same way with the judiciary. Judiciary started transforming long before that with the Marbury versus Madison ruling in 1820. That totally changed what the Constitution actually says. And we've been living under that for more than 200 years now, that misrepresentation. I would dare say that evil. Same way with the legislative. Same exact thing. But it is an abomination for the kings to do evil. We in the United States, we have a representative republic. A representative republic. We do not have a democracy. You will hear it repeated over and over and over. Our democracy, our democracy, our democracy. When that first started popping up 15 or 20 years ago, that type of repetition, it was quite obvious that it was a psychological operation. And most people don't know the reality of the truth of anything to where they can say, hey, that's incorrect. That's not right. We just accept it now, even to the point that people who do know will use that terminology because it's used by so many. No, we live in a representative republic. And you say, well, who's the king? Who's the leader? Well, we are told in our founding documents, we the people, in order to establish. We, the people, are, according to our founding documents, the true power. Think of this. It is an abomination for we, the people, to do evil. Why have we wound up in the situation we're in right now? I think it's because we, the people, have done evil. And the throne, though it might have been established upon righteousness and for the desire of righteousness, no longer does that. That's where it comes back to. So verse 13 continues on with this. Righteous lips are the delight of a king, and he loves him who speaks what is right. So if you're just talking about those that are in leadership, we have untold, I'm going to say hundreds of thousands of kings. From the presidency down to the water board in the smallest town. Every little position of leadership is a kingdom, is a fiefdom, Every one of them. And righteous lips are the delight of a king, someone that will speak righteousness will speak what is right to a king and right into the situation. That delights a king. That delights a king. Though we are quite fearful often to do that because we worry about what might happen if we do that. Verse 14, a king's wrath is a messenger of death, and a wise man will appease it. So what he's saying is you don't want the fury, as the New American Standard says, or the wrath of a king to be upon you. What is this about? The wrath of a king is a messenger of death. Well, a lot of times, you see this in the Old Testament, when a messenger was sent with information to a king, if the king wasn't excited about it, if he was furious, if he was wrath-filled, he would often take it out on the messenger and kill the messenger. Well, he's sending a message, at the expense of the messenger. Okay? But he says, a wise man will appease it. In other words, you're going to communicate with the king, even if it's something that's difficult, you're going to communicate with the king in a way that will appease the situation. Now, not downplay it, but will cover it, will pacify. The word is actually the one that's translated make propitiation. King James says pacify, but it's the same word that we use for make propitiation. Yeah. Verse 15. In the light of a king's face, there is life, and his favor is like the clouds that bring spring rain. So the idea is what? You want the favor of the king. It's favorable. It's like clouds that bring spring rain. It may look a little cloudy, maybe a little scary. You may be wondering about it, but the rain that comes with it is beneficial. The light of the king's face is light. Okay, the radiance, the king's face, the being found in favor. That's sort of the picture here. So in the light of a king's face, there is life. Okay, the word life, you know what it means? Life. Favor is, and his favor is like the clouds that bring the spring rain. So you want the favor of the king. If we want the favor of the earthly king to this degree, then how much more should we desire the favor of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords? See the picture that's being painted right here? He's giving some real harsh realities about those that are in leadership and how we function and what we do. But folks, above all things, may the light of the King's face, the Lord Jesus Christ, the Most High God, may that light that brings life, may that radiate in and to and through and up on us in everything that we do. Well, again, I'm Dale. That's Proverbs 16. This thing is worth spending some time with, folks. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.